let's shift gear a little bit. Let's say I'm new and I'm being cautious, listening to your advice. I want to learn more about creative financing. It's just like the example I gave you earlier. Obviously, this won't be something that a brand new investor who hadn't done a deal can go in and just try to do creative financing, or am I wrong on that? And secondly, if I want to learn it to do it the right way, how do I go about it?
In the investment world, you've got to learn how to do it the right way. And, you know, time and actually doing deals is your best teacher, obviously, gathering information. Now, I think every investor, though, that you have to get enough information to know where to start and how to do things. In other words, you can't just arbitrarily go out and start doing a creative finance deal if you have no idea what you're talking about or things of that nature. And so you need to gain, that new investor needs to gain a modicum of knowledge to first off understand, how do you go from A to B to C to D on down the road? What does that look like? You need to learn how to talk the game. You need to learn what to ask for. And there's lots of places out there and people who help, teach this industry the right way. We've got a website that's called the ownerfinancenetwork.com. And it's a training site, has lots of free videos where we really want investors to learn how to do this business the right way, because if you don't do things the right way, you mess it up. It may be problematic for all of us investors because it could cause a change in our laws and things of that nature along the way. And so the investor needs to learn how to talk the game. If you're brand new, you need to understand what a mortgage is. How does it work? Whether it's a loan from a bank, a loan from a mortgage company, or a private lender. How does the title industry work? What is the title company? Do I have to go to a title company? What are my other options for closing a transaction? And you just never know those things. You have to learn how, if I buy a property from a creative scenario, what are my risks? What are the seller's risks? What are the disclosures I need in order to protect the seller, myself as a buyer along the way? What's my closing process? And if you're brand new and you don't know anything, you've got to go out and start learning. Now, at some point, if you've got a knowledge base, a knowledge of how to research properties, how to make informed decisions, it's time to go out and pull the trigger, right? And that is where so many investors fail, is they are scared to pull the trigger. They're risk averse. All they want to do is sit, gather information, and they'll never do anything.
Yeah.
They can't do that. And in business, you've got to learn to go out there and be willing to put it out and do it. Now, you can't just be completely ignorant and just do it, because you might lose money. But you know what? Sometimes in business and sometimes in investments, you lose money. Look at putting money in the daggum stock market, right?
Right.
It does one of these and you have no control of it at all.
Right.
And so if you're going to lose money in the stock market, at least try the real estate side a little bit. You might lose a little bit, but you're not going to lose everything. But learn the game and get out and do it. And that's what you want investors to do, especially the newer investors. But you can't just go out cold turkey and do anything. I don't care whether you're going to be a wholesaler, a fix and flipper, a renter, a landlord, whatever it might be. You have to gain the knowledge of how to make things work like anything else. Too many of us put money into mutual funds. And I'll bet you 99.999% of people have no idea how that works. They just let somebody else invest their money and lose it for them along the way.
Yep.
So if you at least learn our business, you don't have to be an expert at it. You become an expert over time. But you got to get out and start doing it. And that's what you want people to learn how to do. What does my bank look for? What's a financial statement? If I want to go borrow money from a bank, what do I need besides 20 or 25% down payment? If I'm buying a house and it needs work, who's going to do the work for me? How do I find a contractor? What are my resources that I need to look for? And I think you've got to get a lot of these ideas under your belt And it's going to the right resources and gathering information from various places and treating it like almost like school where you're learning things. It's like a job, it's like a career. You have to learn how to work within the scope of that career. And real estate investing is kind of just like that. There's lots of moving parts, and you've got to have a working knowledge of all of them. But you don't need to be an expert in any of them. You become that expert by pulling that trigger and doing that first deal.
This episode is brought to you by Jet Lending. For over 20 years, Jet Lending has been helping real estate investors succeed. They offer 100% financing so you can be in at $0 at closing. I can always count on Jet Lending to fund my deals. If you're looking to fund your next deal, contact our friend over at jetlending.com.